for ecosystem connections. So for those that don't know, it was really designed to help companies or people that move to Dubai or to other locations, startups, to get some energizing relationships. I have a book that is almost ready. I would say it's about 70% done. So let's say by January sometime it will be about the same topic as well. So we have this concept that we call NBC, that stands for Money, Brains, and Contacts. I don't think, because it's not my 3 letters, there's a TV after that name, but I call it the formula for success. That is very simple, and M stands for money, B is for brains, and C for connections. So if you want a successful startup, you need some investment. So that investment may come from angel investors, VCs, or others. We need some smart people, so we call this for brains. But the most important is not the money or the smart people, is the relationships. So the relationships that you build. Some of them you'll build here tonight, some of them you'll build on your own time. What we usually ask people when you come here is you should at least connect to 10 people that you have never met before. There's one of the guys that comes here regularly. He offered me to offer this free to anybody who comes here. It's actually an NFC card. So it has on one side a QR code, but you can touch your phone. In reality, it's like a freemium model, so he gives you, but even just as a freemium model is pretty good. So it allows you to connect with people even faster. So today, we sometimes have panels. 50% of the time we don't, but because we're getting towards the end of the year, it was good to have a balance of having a few people join us here today. And because those people are themselves doing other events that are coming up and other regular events. So we're trying to create a community that allows you, whether you wake up on Monday or you wake up on Friday, you get a place to go. So we have something called Money Mondays. We have something called Tech Tuesdays that is not here today, but it's not important. You'll come one day. We have something on Wednesdays. We do Thursdays. We have Shake on Soko's Cafe that will take care of Fridays. So we'll basically fill out your entire week with meetups, and you get to choose which ones you would like to go, and you make good relationships in the process. I don't want to take over the stage because that's not really, so that is the end of my introductions. So I want the 2 people that are here to spend maybe 5 minutes introducing themselves, and then we'll discuss of some of the things that are doing. So we're talking about Nousheen, which I know probably for at least 7 years, give or take. There's in the tech space, she gives awards, she does women empowerment, all good stuff. So it's always good to know, mostly the tech sector. And then we have Adel that does a podcast, we have something called Traders Brawl. So there's some people here that do trading, whether it's Forex or crypto or anything in between. And he started a few months ago, something called Money Mondays. So I guess everybody wants to make money, so why not? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I guess some of them are fairly well equipped with technology, so it's perfect. So let me start, ladies first. So let me start with Nousheen. So Nousheen is a very enthusiastic person, and I've been to a few of her conferences in which she invites a lot of interesting startups, some in the metaverse, some in technology. But overall, she brings a very vibrant ecosystem into the region as well. That is not just focused on Web3, not just focused on crypto, but focused on technology overall. I will give you the mic, and I'll let her introduce herself with everything, and also introduce the event she's going to be doing very soon.
Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. I totally respect the community about ecox that I've been coming to off and on for many years now. And honestly, we have built many meaningful connections through the community. There is great value that George is building into the system, and we are very grateful that we've been connected for a very long time. We both started on exchanging ideas and converging when I launched the Innovation in Technology Summit. And the series of that summit has brought us together because we've been bringing that So let me say a little bit more about what we have created over the years. I've been in Dubai for 15 years, in business for 12 years, and during this period of 12 years, I have launched multiple ventures, and hence I've been referred to as a venture builder many times. Currently, we run our publishing house, which is Impact Publishers. We manage Impact Events and Management Company. We also manage Nousheen Marketing Management, which is a marketing and PR agency. We also take care of the needs of various businesses through business management consulting, which is called Impact Business Management Consultancy. We also take care of business incorporation through the same. And these are multiple enterprises I'm running as a CEO. That being said, we decided to bring you all together tonight and talk about various ways in which you can tap into the system we both are a part of through Impact. So Impact is bringing forward a wonderful conference coming up on 2nd of February called Impact Investments Conference. We conceived of this idea thinking, let's give a fresh name to innovation side. Let companies come together and converge on various ideas, exchange business opportunities and grow together. Hence, the investment conference is there for all of you, and of course, George is a large part of the work that we will be doing there.
You have to mention about rewards as well.
Oh yes.
Very important.
So in 2020, when I was during the lockdowns, as everybody was sitting down and thinking what to do and how to rewire their own systems to create more sustainable businesses, I came across many entrepreneurs who were doing already something wonderful. Their ideas were great and impressive, and they were making an impact other people were not acknowledging. And I felt that, first off, being a woman in business, I met quite a few women in business who were, let me say, working backstage. They were not noticed, and there was very little visibility for them. And seeing that actually did something to me. And I could recall what happened in 2018 when I got rejected by one of my friends who said that, no, you don't have a story, you don't need to be recognized. And then another friend told me, no, you need to work a little bit more and then come back. Considering that, we decided we are going to launch a unique leadership program. Unique in the sense that it will not work only on learning and development, but also on recognition, which is very, very important for a business owner. Because much as we might not acknowledge, we are grinding day in, day out. We have so many activities that we take care of every day, every week, and then every month. And then years pass. What we are getting is perhaps something in the bag, but not enough visibility. To acknowledge that work, we launched Global Women Leadership Program. It became a huge success instantly. The first season was launched in 2021, right after officially everybody was back to conferences and in-person events. As we progressed over the years, after the second season, when we tapped globally and actually more than 22 countries came to attend that conference, I was told by a few of my other business friends that why just women? The leadership program should not be gender-centric. It should be about gender parity, which is balanced, but why just women? It should be for everybody. Open the door, don't make a narrow end. And then we decided, all right, this is going to be Impact Global Leadership Program, which is now the award system, and 4 seasons have passed. In that program, what happens is, we open our doors to various industries. Industry leaders come to us. Till now, more than 45 countries have tapped into the system, and we have proof, of course, of our activities. Those leaders come up, they network together, they come into understanding of how they are going to complement each other's business to ensure everybody's business is growing. The result, we have too many memorandums that are being signed, backstage of course, but yes, business happens, We have 85% of success ratio over there, and we are very happy with the progress we are making. We've been able to tap into multiple industries, and learning and development being the prime, coaching has been thriving everywhere, but technology has not been able to move. So we have been fostering leaders from space technology to blockchain and crypto. And in between there is a lot of stuff that happens in Web3. So all of that has been a part of our ecosystem. We have worked with many different companies in that regard, ensuring they are having great results. And we'll continue with that.
So I would like to obviously recognize the good work that Nousheen is doing, not just for women, but for everybody. We believe also here at ecox that everybody gets treated the same way, so we don't have different prices for men or for women. So if we charge everybody, but if it's free for everybody as well. It's just, I think it's very important to do that. So now I want to introduce Adel. Adel has a multifaceted view in building the ecosystem. So he does a lot of podcasts. He did something called Traders Brawl. He was also doing a TV podcast. So I'd like you to go through all that journey until you reach something that became, I guess, Money Mondays. So tell us more about it.
Mic check. Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, George and Nousheen, for being next to me here. George, we actually met in 2022, I believe. And I actually spoke at your event for my first time ever speaking in front of publicly. And it was at the Conrad Hotel. Good times. Nousheen, I met at your event. I think it was, I forgot the name of the hotel, but it was a very good one. And I also spoke as an MC at your event. So I'm Adel. I am a podcast host. I'm on YouTube. You can find me Adel Web3 TV or Adel Web3. I have a channel that focuses on crypto-based projects and events mainly, where I go to the event and I do like a wrap-up of the event. So I interview people and I show that this event was successful, and that's what I get paid to do. The second line of business I do is podcasting, because I like to have an intimate conversation with the entrepreneurs who have launched or are launching their own ICO or their own blockchain-based project. I like to have an intimate conversation, and I ask questions that they didn't come up with, so that it's raw and it's authentic. And the third thing now, which is now that I've built a community from YouTube and also the podcast, now I have my own meetup on Monday, and I specifically called it Money Monday, not Crypto Monday, not Blockchain Monday, but Money Monday, because we're in the business of money, and I believe that everybody should be able to come and network, regardless. And for this reason, I named it Money Monday. We had an event this week itself. This Monday just passed. Had over 150 people come. George was there. We took a group photo. And we're going to resume in January. So these are the activities I've been doing. And it felt natural to do an event because meeting in the flesh, shaking hands, is so much bigger and deeper than online. And online was a podcast, as you know, you can only go so far with a podcast. But meeting in the flesh and having a whole community in front of me, and then gathering and taking a photo, that stays in the minds of people, and that builds your personal brand. So that's where I'm at right now. We're only 7 weeks old with Money Monday, but always looking for new partnerships and collaborations to collaborate with big communities. Thank you.
It has its own style because it's both the speeches, but it's also entertainment. So there's some shows on stage.
I should mention, what makes us also different at Money Monday is that we're bridging business networking with entertainment. And the entertainment side is that we have a stage. Actually, this venue with the stage is not meant for networking. It's meant for shows. You're meant to see and watch a show in front of you. But we converted it into a corporate event. So we're on the stage. I got 2 chairs and a table and a podcast arms. It looks like we're having a podcast in front of you. Now, after the podcast is finished, right, it's time for an intermission. DJs spin the decks, music is going on, and people get up from their chairs, and they're networking. So they're networking with music. Feels like you're at a party. but you're networking with music not so loud, and it feels cool. Then it's back to the podcast again, right? After you're done networking, back to podcasts, and we're back here again doing the thing. After the podcast is finished again, music is on. Time to network. So it's like activities. You're never staying stationary for too long. And at the very end, at the very, very final end, we've got a show. We've got we've got singers, we've got dancers, and they come on and they put on a show for you all. So that's the concept of Money Monday. It's a flashy, fancy event, but everybody is there to network and everyone is vetted so that they're not, dubious or anything like that. They're here to network and bridge connections. That's what it's all about.
Okay, great. There's a few things that I saw today as I went and I said hello to a bunch of people that were quite unique. Today there is actually two groups of people here that is both the father and the son came together because they both work in Web3. Maybe I'll get you to introduce yourselves or something before I finish today because I thought this is important. I've actually worked in technology for 35 years and over those 35 years I've had the occasion of about 4 or 6 times work both with the father. One is a doctor from Saudi Arabia. Now I work with the son as well in blockchain and health tech. I have another father and son from Thailand, Parouj, that work both in football and AI. I worked with the father and I work with the son now called Pete. And here we have, so it's important that there's a change of the guard and people continue on work that has been started. I like your notion about Money Mondays, and I'll bring you 2 important things. One, there's a big event coming up in January 11 or 12 that is going to be at the Museum of the Future and will take over the entire section between Museum of the Future and Emirates Towers hotels. So the whole ground there, it's called 1 billion followers. So it's already on its 3rd or 4th edition. And I like the word 1 billion, and I'll get to that point in a second. So the idea is they bring about 100 speakers from all over the world that have many followers. Some have more than others, but that's okay. My number is a little bit smaller. It's only about 200,000, so it's very small. But some people have got 50 million, 100 million. So you cannot compete with such people, but everybody brings their own value to the community. The second point that I like about 1 billion, there was a guy who was here last week. He has helped plant 1 billion trees. He's not here today, but we're trying to get him lunch here. The third 1 billion that I want to talk about is from another good colleague that I met a little bit over 10 years ago called Brock Pierce, also a big guy in the blockchain space. And he created the definition of what he calls a modern billionaire. And his definition is quite simple. A modern billionaire is somebody that has a solution that actually helps 1 billion people. So it's not about making a lot of money, but very little money from a lot of people and from a very big community. Then people ask me, where do we find 1 billion people? Well, there's 1 billion people plus in India. They're growing faster than anybody else. There's 1 billion people in China. There's 1 billion people in Africa. There's 2 billion Muslims. So there's all kinds of these billion communities all over the world that you can easily target as long as you understand their pain points and go from there. That gets me to the last part to sort of conclude what we're doing today. So I'll ask maybe Nousheen and Adel to highlight what are some of their recipes for success or what makes their solving of pain points in businesses and startups and the lessons that they want to give you as attendees here today.
Thank you so much. As an attendee here today, I'd say that community is everything. If you really want your business or your enterprise to grow and be of some value, start growing your community now. Don't wait for anything at all. And one great way of building a community is by tapping into other existing and thriving communities, because that's where you will find like-minded people who have perhaps common goals and common aspirations that can help them connect with you, and in that way you can work with time. Second, time. Consider time as your biggest asset and invest it in discrete ways so that you can grow with that. This is what myself and Adel and George has done over the years. We have invested time in the right people by making right choices and have assisted them with their programs, and that's how everything has grown.
I'm going to try and sound different and start with maybe one of the most cliche statements, which is fall in love with rejection. Because to get to 150 people that I got this very Monday itself, we had rejections from sponsors, we had rejections from people who just think that the event isn't for them. And we've had 20 people come to our event, 20 people, just 20. We started with just 20 people. So when you ignore the rejection, but take in the feedback, of course, and continue with consistency, being consistent with starting with 20 people, jumping to 150, that showed that you not only took the rejection well, but you took the feedback as to what people actually want. And what really people wanted in Money Monday was more panel discussions. They wanted more, not just one. We used to do just one and then finish. They want more. I'm like, oh, okay, you want more talking. Okay, we'll incorporate more. Then we'll have music on. Then we'll stop. We'll go back to this. Then we'll have music on. Okay, so this is the right formula to get people engaged. Otherwise, they stay stationary and they go on their phones. And that's what we don't want. So, just to come back, fall in love with rejection, take in the feedback, and be consistent in keep improving yourself. That's it.
That brings me actually to the history of startups and technology. As you know, there's a part of the world that is usually known as Silicon Valley, which is normally California, that spans from San Francisco all the way down to Tijuana in Mexico. And what makes Silicon Valley very successful is because people there are surfers, they're experimenters, and they're not afraid to fail. How many people here have tried surfing? I've tried, trust me. You have to be ready to fail because you're going to fall hundreds of times before you get on that board. So startups is a bit like that. So if you're not afraid to fail and you're flexible to experiment, to pivot, then you have the chance to succeed with the startups or the startups that you want to help. Any questions from the audience? Or the father and son teams are still around. I wanted to introduce them, but I guess they're hiding somewhere. So, anyway, thank you very much for coming. I want to wish you, unfortunately I will not be here next week. I will be remote because I have to go for Christmas family dinner, but I'll be back on the 28th. So I want you to enjoy the rest of the season and to spend a good quality time with your families, regardless of faith that you have. I guess we have Christmas, other people have Eid, or people that are of others have Diwali, just to name a few. So there's a multitude of celebrations that are variations on the same theme. And the concept is to meet together as a family. In the US, they just finished something called Thanksgiving not too long ago, where you kind of, I don't know, I think you kill a turkey and you cut it in pieces so everybody celebrates. Anything is a good reason to celebrate. So I invite you now to maybe mingle with people that you have never met before. And
I'm just going to add one thing. Have a great Christmas and don't get wrecked.
Okay, yes. Well, I think things are on the right track. So this gives a lot of opportunity for new projects to experiment in a more creative way. So enjoy the seasons and see you towards the end of the year for the fireworks. As you know, Dubai fireworks is a thing worth watching, so I recommend. Or they also have this new drone show for the shopping festival. Also recommended as well. So enjoy not just the hard work, but also a little bit of fun as well in the process. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.